Inflation, the career civil servant Frederick Leith Ross once remarked, is like sin. Every government denounces it and every government practices it. And so it is with the new party of the center. Everyone has denounced it, no one wants to practice it, but still, talk of it goes on. The formation of a new center party is the only thing that really spooks Jeremy Corbyn's inner circle nowadays, not because they think such an enterprise would succeed, but its failure would doom them. 2. They believe any new party would struggle to poll above single digits but would take a big enough chunk of the Labour vote to deprive them of victory at the next election. They are very probably right to be worried in theory. Poll after poll shows that a sizable chunk of the Labour vote would be attracted to a pro-European party without the baggage of the Liberal Democrats, while the latest round of data from the British election study shows that more than a fifth of Labour voters listed Brexit as their top issue. In practice, however, there is little to no chance of a new party emerging on the left. On the Labour right, which would have to provide the bulk of the parliamentary recruits, there is no appetite for a breakaway, either for reasons of practicality or sentiment. On the practical side, Labour's centre-left politicians point to the failure of the Liberal Democrats to break through at the last election or the miserable fate of the last group of Labour politicians to break away and form their own party. On the sentimental side, Labour's centrists either have an emotional attachment to the party or an aversion to allowing their opponents on the party's left flank full custody of the House and its contents. Among the Liberal Democrats, most of whose senior politicians cut their teeth during the latter days of that party's alliance with the SDP, the idea of a new party enjoys theoretical support but practical opposition. Talks about a new party, conducted in the dog days of Jeremy Corbyn's leadership, foundered on the unwillingness of Labour centre-left politicians to abandon their party, and Liberal bigwigs now fear that any breakaway would be made not, as one puts it, of Labour politicians, who you can imagine being comfortable at our conference bar, but from MPs run out of town by their constituents. Despite their depiction in the frothier end of the right-wing press, most Labour members are not ideologically hidebound zealots, determined to push out their MPs, while the fear among Liberal Democrats is that any new party now would be staffed by the laziest and least impressive politicians from Labour's centre. And yet, despite all that chatter about a new centre party goes on, partly because those voters of a leftish or centrist disposition who feel politically homeless tend to have large platforms from which to advertise their unhappiness. Nick Clegg, the former Deputy Prime Minister, has a weekly column in the Eye. George Osborne, the former Chancellor, has gone one better and has an entire newspaper, the Evening Standard, in which to air his dissatisfaction.